Woman charged with assault of black girl she believed was stealing her mail. The girl's attorney says it was racially motivated. And so this is the 11-year-old girl right here. A South Carolina woman who faces assault and battery charges told officials that she thought her mail was being stolen by an 11-year-old child. The girl, Skylar Davis, who is black, said that she was getting her grandmother's mail when she was accosted by Elizabeth Sherry, 38 years of age, who happens to be white, according to the May 11 Aiken Public Safety Incident Report. The girl's attorney says that Sherry's actions were racially motivated. So on the heels of Ahmaud Arbery tragedy, there aren't any good reasons for an adult to prejudge an 11-year-old girl, wrongly accuse her of a crime, and then assault her as she picked up her grandmother's mail. Justin Bamberg, an attorney who represents Skylar, said in a statement to CNN. So an attorney for Sherry said that she deeply regrets this incident. So my understanding is that there was never any touching of this girl, attorney Jim Huff said in an email to CNN. There absolutely was nothing racial in this case. So details from the report: Skylar's grandmother said that the girl and 3 other children walked to get the grandmother's mail. So with the post in her hand, Skylar was standing at a mailbox, and when she was approached by the white woman identified as Sherry, according to the incident report. So Skylar and Sherry approached her in an aggressive manner and demanded her mail back, the report said. So Skylar told the woman the mail was not hers. So Skylar says in the report that Sherry attempted to grab the mail from her and in the process grabbed her by the arms and pulled them. When Sherry saw the address on the mail and realized that it was not hers, she let it go, Skylar told APS. So Sherry told authorities that she believed the girl had taken the mail. So she yelled out to her, saying, "Ma'am," and walked to Skylar. When there was no response, the report said. So Sherry admitted that she tried to grab the mail but saw the address and realized the person was a juvenile and attempted to apologize to Skylar, and this is what Sherry said, offered to make it better by offering baking cookies, the report says. So Sherry's account, based on or upon the girl's delay at the mailbox and not responding to her calling her, Miss Sherry thought it was reasonable to ask if she could see the address on the envelopes, Huff said, a request that the girl had refused. So my client apologized to the girl and even offered to bake cookies and bring them to her home. So Huff said this, and so later Skylar's mother and grandmother came to my client's house, and then my client apologized to both of them, and at that point I find this to be uplifting. It is that the girl's mother showed grace and understanding to the client, and they both hugged each other before the mother left. And so Sherry was issued a citation for 3rd-degree assault and battery. So it's unacceptable that in 2020 that we are still facing issues involving the safety of African Americans as they endeavor to do the most mundane tasks, Bamberg said. So I just think this article was a really good example because this case could have went a whole nother way, and fortunately there was no loss of life in this situation, and so hopefully going forward there will be no more loss of life. Unfortunately, I know that doesn't always work out to the best of what we would hope, but to be optimistic, this right here shows some silver lining that in some cases there isn't loss of life, but also to be very parallel to some of the things that have already happened, that this is not just black males that will sometimes get assaulted. There's black females, and also the fact that there's children that are African Americans that can get assaulted as well, just the same. And so we're not immune to the same types of injustices that black males also often face here in America. So anyway, with that, going forward and saying this, I'm going to let this video go. And so um, I did, however, promote a book. I know it wasn't a book I wrote, but it was a book that I had been reading lately, since now things are starting to open back up. So I wish everyone the best of luck or good fortune and better health in these times of what's going on right now. We have a lot of things that are in the world that are very troubling enough as it is, and so in going forward, hopefully things will get better, and sometimes we have to look at the upside as well as some of the things that sometimes we don't want to look at. But the reality is that here in 2020 we still have a lot of work to do. Sometimes I wish there was this one big forum that where people could learn about other people's cultures and learn about how not to be afraid of everyone and learn that everybody is not always from the same, background and character. Maybe what is personified in movies, or maybe a bad experience, or maybe what they've heard of from someone, from an incident. They're case by case situations, but that doesn't mean that we should paint a broad brush on every individual that phenotypically looks like one another. So anyway, with that being said, thanks for listening, and have a safe week. Hopefully things will progress in a positive direction, since now they're trying to slowly reopen businesses. A lot has been going on. I know this is outside of this article, but trust me, there's so many things going on in the world to be concerned about, and maybe it's time that people start thinking about some of these. The simplest things in life can sometimes end lives. So let's do better as people, especially here in America. You would think this is supposed to be the land of the free and plentiful, when it seems like it's the other. Thanks for listening.